my beginning and why I hate cancel culture so much. What happened was I started out as an open mic comedy, and when you're an open mic comic, you're supposed to just learn to develop bits on stage and structure your jokes and delivery. And I'd literally, by my third open mic, have people confronting me, have people trying to ban me, have people calling the police on me. I had the fucking FBI come after me 2 months into comedy. This is not a bit. You can fucking see it. I started out as an open mic comic, and with 3 or 4 months, this hailstorm of bullshit came at me, and I didn't really understand how prevalent the idea of cancel culture was, or how much of an agenda it had, to where someone like a no-name like me would be affected by that. And that's why I started to analyze it, because I thought I was just in the one minority of it, but I realized that that's the dominant narrative, and you see it in mainstream comedy, you see it in, and I know everyone hates me bitching about it, but it's because I fucking live it. The reason I can't, I mean, besides the virus, go to open mics is because I was banned from like 50 of them for just people writing blogs and saying shit that isn't real. So that's why I come so hostile at this cancel culture thing, because I have a preview to show that the fucking established comics have the luxury to not have to deal with what is the cancel culture mob. But as coming out, the Overton window is dead, and where if you want to start comedy, if you don't believe what they believe, they will ban you, they will attack you.
Window.
The reason I say comedy is dead is not because it's gone, but the window is closed, and the idea of deep exploration, because mainstream corporatized, the Marxist fascism has now said oppressor-victim mentality in everything, and it's in our unconscious zeitgeist that we're in a subconscious culture war, and it's everything's through the lens of victim and oppressor. And we lost this battle. The first time was when a comic got offended, and we chose the person who was offended over the comic. What I'm saying is, this is a moment where we can learn. Comedy used to be this art form, and I wrote a blog about it, the psychology of it and the philosophy, that it's this almost like getting into the shadow ego and all the dark things we suppress and our unconscious, and we laugh at our flaws and our mistakes and our ugliness, and comedy was unveiling that. And now with everything being corporatized, music, media, politics, everything so in a structure of having to be perfect with the internet, comedy's being sucked under that, where now people can't look at comedy without thinking of political correctness, oppressor and victim, and we lose it by every time someone's offended by a joke, we automatically go towards the comedian, when we aren't focusing psychologically on what's going on inside that person's head that's being offended. This is a moment for intellectualism. If we look at the person who's being offended and realize that there's a psychological process going on that could grow to the betterment for individuality and collectivism, we can grow to become better people. Them and their high school, middle school kids cancel each other. It affects the workplace, it affects education, it affects the way politics are run. The idea of comedy and censorship is a metaphor for what's going on in people's lives. People are being censored day to day, and they're being pushed further and further into a... Louis J. Gomez helped me in saying, "You're not the authority." And now I go through this psychological thing of watching comedians get canceled, watching comedians lose their livelihood, watching comedians unable to do comedians on cruise ships doing cocaine. Shout out to Lizzie. Like, I see these comedians losing everything, and it's like, if I know I had my voice, I could take that debate with Andrew Yang and I could win, because I understand where they're all coming from. But like you said, they don't want to hear it from you, and that's my plight. And that's my plight in comedy. It's like if God came down and gave the word in his head. Gave the word. It's like if God came down and gave the word of enlightenment to someone, and God said, "Give this word and spread it throughout the world," but it was like Andy Dick or something. I know I'm not the one people want to hear comedy prophecy from. I know I'm not the one, and it fucking sucks.
I know.
That's why I just try to peddle it on through everyone else.
Yeah, you're out here trying to turn water into wine, and everyone's like, "Get out of the way."
Just be the crazy mass shooter guy.
Yeah, the problem is, here's what you are. Right, you might you very well might be the next coming of comedy Jesus, right? You may be the next Messiah. You may be the prophet.
I am the comedy god.
You may be that guy.
Everyone
but the problem
is
the way everyone looks at you is the same way when, like, you see some guy that claims to be Jesus in the park.
Like I said, now I'm aware people don't want to hear from me, even though I'm the comedy god. Ever since I entered comedy, Louis C.K. came back, Chappelle did his non-woke special, Sticks and Stone, Ricky Gervais gave a speech, Seinfeld, even Obama came out against cancel culture. People are fighting back. Joey Diaz, Brian Callen, and Jeff Ross. Mark Norman, Sam Morrell, Andrew Schultz, all. So my comedy godlikeness is resonating through energies. Shout out to Chrissy Mayer for going after Chrissy Teigen and dropping the red pills. And shout out to that video of Ryan Long, Aaron Berg, and Karen Feehan for that censorship video. My energy is being felt throughout the collective because I am the comedy god. This is the edgelord try shit that I actually wrote out a script. I apologize for wishing for a virus to destroy New York City comedy because I didn't feel accepted.
You wish for a virus. Time out now. Slow down. When did you wish for this virus?
December, November, way before. I'm sorry. I fucked up.
So you're thinking that this is part of your comedy god prophecy?
Well, no, it's just I felt rejected, which I know it's like a middle school 14-year-old emotion. You should just accept, all right, your comedy's not for you. They don't like you. Move on. But I just, why don't they like me? Fucking hang out at the high school kids. So I just fucking plagued a virus on everyone.
You did.
And I slowly watched them die because I made all my money on internet. So I was rising as they were falling. It's funny because I prayed to God, I want to be on the same level as these comics. And now God sunk all of them. And I slowly watched them buried financially, and I try to pretend.
I know he's not.
Zach, how do you say he's wrong?
I'm not.
Everyone is random right now. That's where everyone just realized that. Here's the thing: everyone got bumped down a few levels. The problem was, mostly everyone, 90% of the comics were not really that far ahead of RanDoM. They'd like to think they were,
and they acted on the hierarchy.
Honestly,
but I knew in
the way
one
that
fucking
RanDoM
day
jumped into our world, right, and whether we wanted him or not, he has a little bit of infamy.
Yeah.
Within the thank you, RanDoM. Within the world of Legion of Skanks, and people that know our show at the very least know him as this peripheral character, right? So that right there already bumped him up most comics that are working the open mic circuit, most comics that are starting to get into clubs, those people have no recognition. They're just trying to write some jokes to get on stage. So RanDoM got a little bit of recognition, has some people that know who he is. He goes to Skankfest. People want to shake his hand. They're meeting him. It's a cool fucking feeling. I completely get it.
Give me drugs and hand jobs.
Those people, all of those people, which is 90% of the comedy scene, were bumped down to people who were trying to figure out a way to get a voice online. We're trying to get on some podcasts, but stand-up itself sort of disappeared. Nobody's making money on stand-up. So all of those comics got put down to that level. It's the same thing with the bigger comics. You see people, I'm trying to think of Whitney Cummings maybe, or like Schaub and these guys. They're playing clubs now. They were doing theaters. They were doing massive, either huge clubs like 600, 700-seater clubs, or they were doing small theaters, right? And all of them are doing clubs now. Bert, same thing. Bert was doing massive theaters. Now he's doing drive-ins because everyone had to adapt. So all of the club spots are being taken up. All the comics who were in club spots are now doing parks and parking lots. And then all the comics that were doing just sort of open mic, whatever they can get, are doing shit now.
And my prophecy was fulfilled because everyone said that I was on some comedy hierarchy. And I said, I don't believe in that because your money, your status, or your desirability could all change in one day. So there's no reason to fucking kiss ass to people above you and shit on people below you because it'll all change. And then it was just proven.